Portland be the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the city of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
It is so good to be back. What is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando, and if you're looking for Art Edwards, he decided to hit the beach on us and take a break. We hope he's enjoying a well-earned weekend off, man. We hope each and every one of you are finding ways to stay cool because these temperatures, they're not fun, and we want everyone to be safe out there. We've got a lot to get to tonight. Let's start with what should be an exciting time for Rip City, but we've seen things unravel into a bit of a mess over the last 48 hours. This is the news. The Portland Trail Blazers have picked Chauncey Billups as their next head coach, and the team made it official 3 hours ago. This will be his first head coaching job. Billups is an assistant with the Clippers, who are in the Western Conference Finals right now. A 17-year NBA vet, he won the NBA Finals MVP in 2004 with the Pistons. He is a 5-time All-Star. The hire is not a surprise. He was the frontrunner and has a history with general manager Neil Olshey. But Billups' personal history created some backlash with Blazers fans. In 1997, he was accused of rape during his rookie season. He denies it. No charges were filed. There was a settlement out of court. ESPN's NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski says the Blazers have looked into it.
And I'm told in their conversations with Chauncey Billups, he recounted his version of those events a number of times, including with Neil Olshey, their president of basketball operations, and their owner, Jody Allen, and that those aligned with what their investigation had found.
That wasn't going to cut it for a lot of fans. On social media, some of them went straight to Damian Lillard. Remember, he reportedly said early in the process that he liked Billups as a potential coach. He responded to fans who said this hire was on him. On Twitter, Lillard said, quote, "I was asked what coaches I like of the names I heard, and I named them. Sorry I wasn't aware of their history. I didn't read the news when I was 7, 8 years old. I don't support those things." If you thought all of this back and forth was bad, it's not over. Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports reports that the unthinkable could be a possibility. We're talking Dame playing for somebody else. Haynes is quoting league sources here. He said, here's the big quote from his article: "The enormous backlash from the Portland Trail Blazers process to hire a new coach and his concerns on whether a championship contender can be built have become factors that may push the franchise player, Damian Lillard, out the door." Haynes reported that Billups' contract is 4 years with a team option for year 5. Billups spoke to Rip City in a statement tonight saying, quote, "I want to say to the fans that I know what this team means to you, and I promise to pour every ounce into continuing to make you proud of what the Trailblazers stand for." So what is Portland getting with him? For that, I reached out to Clippers beat writer Andrew Greif with the LA Times.
During the pandemic, I moved back to Colorado. And as Ty Lue said, Ty moved basically in with him into like a guest house in Colorado. And they, for like 4 months, just did a crash course, several hours a day on, what it's like to be a coach. They would go through, just every little thing that Ty could think of to prepare Chauncey to be a coach someday. And he thought, when we asked him about Chauncey's readiness for a head coaching role a couple weeks ago, he said he's ready. He's absolutely ready.
One thing that Neil Olshey had mentioned here in Portland was, we need someone to hold guys accountable. What do you think about Chauncey from that standpoint?
Yeah, I think that he is sort of described sometimes like Ty is, where he's a truth teller because he played the game, because he was considered an excellent point guard and leader then. And I think that you've seen that come through with the way he is with the players now. Reggie Jackson, the point guard for Clippers, one of the things that Reggie told me was that it just felt like, Chauncey is so easy to work with because he just tells you what you need to know, whether that's, what you need to work on, what you're doing right. He's very honest with you.
Has anything stood out to you about what people have said in NBA circles about Chauncey Billups?
What seems to go back to is everything he did as a player in terms of just willing teams to get over the hump, even his own career, from going where early on I wasn't really sure after Boston kind of which direction his career was headed, to become an NBA Finals MVP and really a pillar of that franchise in Detroit. I think that is something that is extremely well regarded around the league, just the work he did to really kind of help put a team on his back. And I think that that's one of the things that, Neil Olshey, when he was here with the Clippers, he really appreciated about Chauncey was that he took a chance on them. He believed in them because they, in 2012, they really wanted his influence on that team. And he was considering retirement. The fact that he went there and kind of believed in what Neil was selling then, and they really felt like Chauncey was a big boost for that team, just again, imparting the veteran leadership on an up-and-coming team at the time. I think that's why, of course, that relationship is why you're seeing Neil now make a bet on him as a coach.
All right, Rip City, the Blazers will introduce Billups on Tuesday. We will bring that press conference to you live on KGW.com. Let's kick it. The Timbers lost 1-0 to Minnesota last night at Providence Park. But that's not the only headline. Instead, MLS is investigating possible racial slurs from a Minnesota player or players.
Chara had actually stopped and he was looking over and he wasn't happy. He was upset about something. And as the Timbers went forward,
Diego Chara, he wasn't happy in the 64th minute. Nothing specific has come out about what was said or who said it. There were no penalties during the match. Timbers head coach Giovanni Savarese said that's just not acceptable.
I'm extremely disappointed that it was not taken as serious as it should have been. So the whole team, myself, the whole organization is with Diego Chara in this situation that happened on the field today.
So Major League Soccer put a statement out today saying the league is investigating. The Portland Thorns came into Saturday's match against North Carolina riding a 3-game win streak. They were all shutouts too. And by halftime, the Thorns set the club record for not allowing a goal. The bad news, North Carolina broke through in the second half, courtesy of Lynn Williams, who scored twice to beat the Thorns 2-0. Portland visits Louisville next Saturday. Oh, we've got more Sports Sunday for you, Team USA. Set for gymnastics, and a local star is heading to Tokyo. Plus, the Blazers aren't the only team with a new boss. The Seattle Kraken picked their first head coach. And welcome back to Sports Sunday. We are less than a month from the Tokyo Olympics. This is Team USA for women's gymnastics. There it is. We all know Simone Biles is the greatest of all time. She'll be there, but a Vancouver star is heading to Japan with her. Watch this. Jordan Chiles. Spectacular dismount on the balance beam. She killed it on the uneven bars too. She finished third overall in the competition, earning an at-large bid to the games in Tokyo. How awesome is this, folks? From Prairie High School to an Olympian. Amazing. Oregon State commit Jade Carey is also Tokyo bound. She claimed an individual Olympic spot. So the extreme heat wreaked havoc on the U.S. Olympic track and field trials today, to the point that the final day of competition had to be delayed a few hours. The men's 1,500 meters was worth the wait. Oregon's Matthew Centrowitz, defending Olympic gold medalist, had the lead down the stretch here, and then, check out the kick from Oregon Duck and NCAA champ Cole Hawker. He came from behind to win the race. Just incredible. Hawker's winning time, though, was 28 milliseconds off the Olympic standard. So he'll have to wait to officially qualify for Tokyo. Reports say he is extremely likely to qualify. Women's 800 meters. Athing Mu. She shined. Pulling away from the field in the last 200 meters here, nearly broke the American record, clocking in at 1 minute 56.07 seconds. Meanwhile, former Duck star Raven Rogers rallied from 6th to finish 2nd to earn a trip to the Olympics next month. Mo doing work though. The women's 400-meter hurdles was epic. Sydney McLaughlin set the world record. The first woman to run this event under 52 seconds. She beat out Delilah Muhammad, who had previously owned the record. Both are heading to the Olympics. McLaughlin's time was 51.90 seconds. The emotion says it all. The Seattle Kraken now have their first head coach. This one caught everyone by surprise. Dave Hakstol will lead the expansion franchise. Hakstol's name only surfaced in the last week. He led the Philadelphia Flyers to 2 playoff appearances in 4 seasons. Before that, he took North Dakota to 11 straight NCAA tournaments. Now, he'll team with general manager Ron Francis to build a winner.
You know, where I'm asked for my opinions, I'm going to give my opinions and be part of those discussions. And then once we have that roster in place, it's about getting ready and getting prepared, getting the detail in place for training camp, which is going to set us up for the success early on in our season.
First big step for Hakstol. First big step, I'm telling you, the NHL expansion draft, July 21st. Before we get there, though, we've got to finish this season. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, just hours away, folks. It's Montreal versus Tampa Bay. The Canadiens hoping they have one more upset in them and can bring the Stanley Cup to Canada for the first time since 1993. The Lightning looking to be back-to-back champs. Game 1 starts tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. We still got more Sports Sunday ahead. We're talking a little football. We catch up with a pair of former Oregon Ducks as they coach the next generation of local stars. Stay tuned.
Somewhere. He bunts it. Badu on the charge. He is safe. And the Tigers win it on a suicide squeeze.
Oh, no, he didn't. I mean, how often do you actually see that work? The Tigers get a walk-off win thanks to a suicide squeeze bunt. Ran beautifully to perfection, safe at the plate. Detroit gets a walk-off win in the 10th inning to beat the Astros. That is what I'm talking about. We got drama, baby. Well, it's also your Toyota Sunday Sizzle. All right, folks, this week I caught up with some former Oregon football players who continue to be part of the game, working with the next generation of ballers right here in the Pacific Northwest.
Rise and grind.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Kids beat the heat this weekend in the Future Stars football camp in Sherwood.
You see kids with the same goals and dreams and passion, and that's what really drives me.
Former Oregon Ducks Ifo Ekpre-Olomo and T.R. Smith among those sharing their knowledge.
Pretty much everything that I earned, somebody had to help me out. It's just coming full circle, man.
Their playing day's over, but the love for the game hasn't stopped. They continue to cross paths with other Ducks, giving back in the Pacific Northwest.
One thing, man, I love about Oregon, man, is that the alumni and camaraderie is real.
They call it Men of Oregon. There's really a reason why it's an exclusive club, and you realize the humility that everyone has.
Planting roots. TR opened Smith Performance Athletics in Vancouver, training kids of all ages.
A lot of times I come around kids that I feel have the potential, that just maybe been misguided or need to be pushed a little harder. And huge part of what we do is we try to find places for little kids to go.
Ifo set up shop in Tigard called Roke Performance Therapy.
We are teaching kids how to prevent injury while they get better, because you always learn availability is the best ability.
He's also teaching and coaching with Team Alpha.
You have to play like you'll never play again because you play a sport that you can get hurt any play. I told you guys last time, I never got hurt one day in my life. I got hurt one play, never played again.
Ooh, Efo's got me fired up talking like that. If you want more information from these guys, make sure to follow them on Instagram if you're interested on hooking up with them and continuing the tradition of football. All right, folks, on the other side, we're going to work on my golf swing. Well, I'm not, but the frustration is real and I can feel it. We'll see you on the other side. And welcome back to Sports Sunday. We've all had bad days on the golf course. Maybe you've even broken a club or two. I'm flashing back to a few times, so bear with me. Check out Bubba Watson on Friday. He breaks his driver on this swing here. Uh-oh. Yeah, see what had happened was the head just snaps off. His ball left the tee at 173 miles per hour and remarkably flew 265 yards in the air right down the fairway. This is something that I cannot relate to anymore once we got past the broken club head. Well, the club head went 53 yards. Bubba Watson, he birdied the hole, of course, which proves he's a better golfer than, well, the majority of us. Shout out to Diana Taurasi, 9K, WNBA buckets doing work. All right, folks, thank you so much for rocking with me tonight here on Sports Sunday. Stay cool out there. Take care. Let's get through this, everybody. Good night.